All right. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for attending via Zoom or here in person. This is our second meeting on discussing the 2021 budget. And last week, what I did is Keith, who's the treasurer right now, he had made some notes, and I was just going to go over the highlights of it, starting with 2020. And as everyone knows, 2020 was a challenging year with COVID. And but we ended up with our offerings being greater than what they were in 2019. I don't know. Pastor Marcus is he's the one controlling the Zoom meeting. All right. So we ended up our in our offerings we ended up with $400,072 in 2020. In 2019, it was $383,000, almost $384,000. So we've had that increase about $16,000. And then what did happen with the expenses, though, is that we had budgeted $627,300 in expenses, but our expenses ended up being about $531,000. Well, and I wanted to remind everyone that we got that payroll protection loan of $108,400. And so that was used to pay 5 payrolls for the church and the day school. And that loan was forgiven by the Small Business Administration in December. So we do not have to pay that back. So yeah, that was very helpful. And so let me see, what are some of his other notes? And so along with the payroll protection program loan, and then the generous giving of everybody, 100,000, we did not have to tap into our other resources that much, and in keeping expenses down, like I said that we did. So, and then also, we have a new day school director, and she has hit the ground running. So, as you all know, because you are property stewards, all of the new classes that she has, and how she's expanding and things like that. So let me see. So in our 2020 budget, we had budgeted potentially having to use restricted money, which is money that we have at Edward Jones, and then we have some unrestricted money in our money market account. We only had to use 51,170 of that, so that is very, very good. So taking into consideration all the expenses that we've done here. Yes. And the question from Huline was, is that taking into consideration all the expansion that we've done here at the school? And the answer is yes. So, yeah. And because the school paid for half of what was done on the second floor, and then the church paid for half. And now everything that's going on in the day school right now is being paid by the day school. So moving on to 2021, I understand some people haven't looked at the budget yet or haven't seen it. Our budget this year is $598,850, whereas in 2020 it was $627,000. And we've kept offerings budgeted at $430,000. And as I said, we ended up having over 400,000 in offerings in 2020. So we feel like this is a number, 430,000. And then in other revenue, which is like flowers, the 36,200, and those are monies that we just get, from members. I was in some of our tenants, they paid rental, like RSVP. So that's that money. And then we have budgeted, if we need to, the only transfer is needed, $15,000 from money market And then the Edward Jones, we have 117,000, almost 118,000 budgeted. And I do want to say that at the end of the year, we had from the funds at Edward Jones, the unrestricted we could use as needed is we have 265,000. So moving on, I guess some of the bigger things in the changes into the on the expenses are the campership. That if you would notice, it was lowered by about $11,000, and our professional services were lowered by about $20,000. And the campership is, if you read the narrative, that we're not sure what's going to happen with camping because of COVID, and also other line items under youth and family were increased, not by $11,000, but they were increased to, to do other programs. And we do have some campership money that was given that we have set aside. So with some camping programs that happen, we do have the funds that are not in this budget, but they're in our money market in the restricted account that we can use. So as I said, our budget is 598,850 versus 627,000 in 2020, which is about 4.5% less. So that I just wanted to kind of give highlights of the 2020. Wanted just open it up to questions if anyone had any.
Susan,
I don't. Oh, I'm sorry.
Susan, can you move your laptop kind of more in front of you? Your microphone keeps cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Here, thank you.
Is that better?
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. Uh-huh. We will. Pastor Marcus Wayne said that, asked that if they do open up the camps, that we would continue the campership program, and I told him that we would.
Oh, absolutely. What we did with those funds is we just reappropriated those funds into the youth accounts so that it wasn't just sitting in there. It was for program development. It could be used for travel. It could be used for deposits. It could be used for all sorts of things. One of the things that we have also done is we've got the tamales that we've sold to help offset costs. And we've also got gifts sitting in the restricted accounts that will also help pay for all of the camp needs that we have for this coming year. The other thing that we've got too is our camping programs have set aside upwards of $30,000 to help offset costs for campers that might need it. So camperships are certainly not going away. They're just being reappropriated into each of the classifications of youth that we have, as well as the use of restricted funds.
Pastor, who was doing the $30,000 was that you were saying?
That's Cross Trails.
Cross Trails did. Okay.
Their big gala that they have every year is the main mechanism to support offering scholarships to go to camp. So we've never tapped into those funds. We've never had to use them. We've always been able to pay out of house. But should we ever have a need, we've got that as a possibility that we can use too.
Wayne, did you hear any of that from Pastor Marcus?
Yeah.
What Wayne was saying, for those who couldn't hear, is that he knows how important campership is, and he was saying that how it solidified Levi's Christianity and really encouraged his participation in the church. So that's something that he definitely wants to see continue, as we all do. Yeah, Wayne was saying that's probably one of our biggest, evangelical ministries, and a good tool or way to keep kids involved in the church.
If we could get more to go, that would be even better. We've seen numbers dwindle. There's so much pulling on our youth in the summertime, whether it's working at a job or sports, band, dance, one-act plays. I mean, the summer programming is so full that we don't have nearly the numbers we used to. Emmanuel's, in its not so distant history, was taking 25 to 30 kids. And as of right now, we have 10. And that's just because of how much our youth, and I agree 110%, sending our kids and providing the opportunities for them to engage their faith at camp is monumental. And so definitely, as long as I am a pastor, whether it's always with the Emmanuels or somewhere else, camp is always going to be a part of that. So it's hugely formative. But yes, our hope though is to use the gifts that have been given in the restricted funds to help offset those costs, because there are people who make monthly contributions specifically for offsetting youth program costs for camp. So we just need to honor those gifts, and that will allow us to not have to carry all those costs in our operating budget. We can use the restricted.
Right. All right. Anybody have any questions, concerns, or pardon me? Oh, Cliff says he's beyond that age.
To go to camp with us.
Hulene would like Cliff to go to camp with you.
Coming over and helping lead and actually really helping the kids a lot.
How much? Okay.
Actually, it's probably only 50, but maybe 60, but some people need graduates on the
Oh, okay.
School and an eye opener. There was a reporter there.
Oh. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. What Wayne was saying, because I know you all can't hear, is that he takes care of the Garden of Eden, Eaton. And he knows that the church pays for the water bill, and he doesn't know how large, how high it can get, especially in the summer. Yes, Wayne really appreciates it. And he wanted to say that, the kids from the alternative school are working there now, weeding, and they've also built some raised beds. And that as of last summer or maybe fall, between 60 and 90 pounds of produce was donated to the Christian Cupboard. Oh, in December. That was just December for the donation. And then he also said this past Thursday, there was a reporter there that did a story on the garden and the kids that have come over from the alternative school. And Hulene's saying it's on the front page of the Seguin paper today. So That's wonderful.
If someone can make sure to get a copy of that paper to the office, we'll make sure to highlight it in the newsletter.
Okay, I do get the paper. I'll bring it in.
Thank you, Susan.
Uh-huh. I'll make a note of that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wayne was saying though, you know, the big water bill is really, we could look at it as outreach money. So, well, I think that's a very good point. Yeah, absolutely. Oh. And Wayne, yeah. And Wayne occasionally, I guess when the time is right, he, you know, talks about God, he said to the kids. So it's awesome. Has anyone else, you know, if you've had a chance to look at the 2021 budget, if you have any questions for us? Oh, Cliff was saying Albert Lindemann had a question on the budget, but he can't recall what that was right at the moment. All right. Alan, you have anything?
Well, there was a Bible study class upstairs about under pastors.
Uh-huh.
You got associate pastor, benefits senior pastor, benefits associate pastor. Now those benefit student pastor, not another pastor.
Correct. Alan's questions was, and he said that the Sunday school class upstairs had, it was on the budget for benefits for the senior pastor and the associate pastor. Yes, those are benefits that we pay for Pastor Marcus and Pastor Kelsey. Pardon? No, everybody's muted unless they have a question. All right, now don't forget, next Sunday is the voting. Be sure to tell everybody too. Correct, that's right. I don't know what color the ballots are, but you know, as you drive into the parking lot over there, if that's what you're going to do, then we will, you know, we'll hand them out to you.
They'll be on, our ballots will be on white sheets of paper, just like you saw in the email that went out this last week.
Yeah, you'll have to sign in, you know, sign your name, print your name, date it. And then that's how we help determine quorum. So. Right, three new that are coming on. Yes, uh-huh. And Cliff said if they wanted to add someone else, that there would be a write-in. So
That's correct. There's a line at the very bottom of that section of the ballot that says it says other. I can actually look at it. Got the ballot pulled up. But yes, there's a place to write those names in.
all right, any other questions about the meeting next week or the voting or the 2021 budget? Or any other question you may want to ask Pastor Marcus or myself? Cliff was saying he was trying to remember what was on the ballot and they were approving the minutes. There are two sets of minutes to approve. Yeah, and then the budget and then the 2021-25 strategic plan. Yeah. That's the strategic plan that for the church that guides our, where we're going and what we're doing. Well, I know that was sent out. Pastor, is the strategic plan posted anywhere online?
Online, I'm not sure, but it was in this last week's email that went out on Thursday. It's a part of the supporting documents. Let me see what Sherry titled it as in the actual email. It says 2020 annual meeting supporting documents. If you click on that link, it will load all the stuff. And in that is the strategic plan.
And there was a committee that got together, and revised it because of the plan we have now is only through 2020. So this is carrying it forward another 5 years.
4 years.
4 years. Could you repeat that, Wayne? Wayne asked, is it the same plan or did they change some stuff? We did. I think we really just expanded and went into more detail. I can't remember offhand exactly what was added that was new.
We did add conversations and focuses on technology, the expansive use of technology. Sorry, my computer's running slow. I'm trying to scroll to it here. We added underneath the vision statements, we defined a little bit more about what it means to be the Seguin community. Our last strategic plan was kind of very vague in that sense. We focused on the day school. We named that as a part of our strategic plan, as well as the education programs of the church. We had not named that outright, and we did that in this as well. And then the other big piece was to continue the improvement of our facility for use toward our congregation and our community, and then utilizing technology to reach members, the unchurched, and the larger Seguin community. And then we broke that down into the four points of worship, education, evangelism, and Emmanuel's community. And then underneath that, we really did a lot of work of redefining what it means to be in mission and in ministry. So there's quite a bit of change. We did expand use some of the language we had previously, but a lot of it has changed. I really encourage you to read it. I thought that Susan and I and Steve Anderson, Mark Even, Glenn Bauer, Sarah Kennedy, and Allison Iladari made up the task force along with Pastor Kelsey and our consultant, Evan Moylan from GSB Consulting. We spent about, I think we said about 14 weeks on this, working weekly in meetings and in face-to-face conversations. So I think it's a really good plan, and it's there's a lot in there. If we were to accomplish that in 4 years, I think we'd be quite the congregation on the other side.
Thank you, Pastor Marcus.